This woman wanted to test her husband's loyalty, to see how much he truly loved her. So she left him a video message, telling him she couldn't live with him anymore, that she was leaving him for good. But the truth? She never left. Instead, she hid inside a secret room in their house, watching, waiting, desperate to see his reaction. At first, everything was going according to her plan, until suddenly, it wasn't. Because in a moment of panic, she realizes the unthinkable. She locked herself inside, and the key is still somewhere out there, in the house. And the worst part isn't thirst or hunger. It's seeing her husband bring home new girl, and she is simply forced to watch, without being able to do anything. The story begins with Adrian watching a video message from his beloved wife, Belen. She tells him she can't do this anymore, and that she has to leave him. Adrian is completely struck by this news, as they had been together for many years. He then goes to a bar where he drinks a lot of alcohol, with tears in his eyes. Throughout the night, as he pours drink after drink, he's being served by a very nice woman named Fabiana. She can see that Adrian is carrying a lot of pain. She can't let him drive home in that condition, so Fabiana decides to take him herself. Adrian is too drunk to explain where he lives, so she ends up taking him to her place instead. The next morning, when he wakes up, he doesn't even say a word to Fabiana. Instead, he simply leaves her house. But a couple of hours later, he realizes she only had good intentions and decides to go back to the bar. There, he apologizes for his behavior and invites her to see his workplace. He takes her to the orchestra, where he works as a conductor. The two quickly start sharing laughs, and before you know it, their first kiss happens. Soon after, they end up at Adrian's place, where they spend the entire night together. The next morning, as Fabiana goes to brush her teeth, she hears a scream coming through the sink. But she simply thinks it's just the pipes making that sound and ignores it. Later that day, the police come to the house, telling Adrian that his now ex-wife has been reported missing. She never left the state, and her family is worried since they haven't heard from her in a long time. The police then search the house and the backyard, but obviously, they don't find anything. Later that night, Fabiana takes a bath in Adrian's bathroom. And once again, she hears strange noises coming from the pipes. This time, they are louder, and she starts to feel a bit creeped out. But Adrian reassures her that it's just an old house, and tells her not to be afraid. The next day passes quickly. Adrian has a concert, and Fabiana watches him from the crowd. He introduces his new girlfriend to his colleagues, and seconds later, we are back at the house. This time, while Fabiana is taking a shower, the water suddenly turns extremely hot and burns her. She adjusts the temperature, but regardless, the water turns hot once again. Later, while jumping and playing around on the bed, Fabiana notices a key hidden inside a small vent. She takes the key and wears it around her neck, not even knowing what it's for. Suddenly, the house loses power, and she hears violent banging coming from the walls. Fabiana grabs a shovel as she walks through the darkness, but gets startled by Adrian's dog, causing her to fall and hit her head. She wakes up minutes later, with Adrian by her side. She explains all the strange noises she's been hearing. Fabiana even takes him to the sink, where a scream can be heard, but it sounds distant, somewhere far in the background. Adrian simply concludes it's just wind traveling through the pipes. The next day, Adrian receives a call from the police. They inform him about a woman's dead body that was recently found. Adrian is called to identify it, as it could be his wife, Belen, but as soon as he looks at the body, he is 100% sure it's not her. He then returns home and tells Fabiana it's not her, as he tightly hugs her. Meanwhile, behind the mirror, Belen is screaming, trapped, slowly dying, and no one even knows she is there. The flashback takes us months earlier, showing the life of Adrian and Belen. They used to live in a small apartment, but Adrian's career as an orchestra conductor really took off. He started making a lot of money, so Belen was given the task of finding a bigger house, a better home for the two of them. An older woman shows her around, and Belen immediately falls in love with the place. The couple doesn't want to waste any time, so they quickly move into the house, redecorating it however they like. And soon, they turn it into a home. Everything feels like a dream. They make love every day. One day, Belen shows up unannounced at Adrian's workplace and sees him sharing a drink with his colleague, Veronica. Belen gets visibly jealous and quickly goes quiet. On their way home, she starts to doubt Adrian's love and loyalty. The next day, while Adrian is at work, Belen is visited by the older woman who sold them the house. Having no other friends, Belen opens up to her, admitting she left her entire life, even her family, to come here with Adrian. She also admits that she now doubts Adrian's love, wondering what he would do if she wasn't around. The older woman suggests putting him to the test, telling Belen to follow her. She then unlocks and opens a door hidden behind a mirror. Inside is a fully functional hidden room, and every mirror in the house is actually a two-way mirror. The woman explains that the room is completely soundproof. It also contains a power generator, as well as a speaker, allowing you to hear everything inside the house. But she warns Belen to be careful, because once the door is closed, it can only be opened with a key, and she must take the key with her inside. As Belen walks the old woman out, she is warned once again to be careful with the room. The woman mentions she is moving to Berlin and won't be around to help her. Belen immediately gets to work. She records a video for Adrian, telling him she is leaving him. Then she quickly packs her things into a bag and takes everything into the hidden room. Soon she sees Adrian arriving at the house. In a rush to leave him a note to watch the video, Belen completely forgets to take the key with her and locks herself inside. She watches him come in with flowers, then sees him break down as he watches the video. Only minutes pass before she realizes she left the key outside. Panic takes over. She desperately bangs on the door, calling for Adrian. But remember, the room is completely soundproof. Belen takes her phone and tries calling him, but there's no signal. She tries a bunch of other keys she has in her bag, but none of them work. Belen even tries to break the glass with a chair, but to no avail. Hours pass, and hunger begins to kick in. She finds some old cans of meat and tries to eat them, but they are definitely spoiled. The water is also very dirty, but at this point, she doesn't really have a choice. Belen's suffering doesn't end there. What started as a test quickly turns into torture as she watches Adrian passionately kissing Fabiana. Belen breaks down and begins to cry, forced to watch as Adrian picks up his new girlfriend and they begin making love on the bed. To make the matters worse, Adrian's stamina is truly astonishing, and he didn't stop the entire night, while Belen could hear every moan onto the large speaker. The next morning, Belen sees Fabiana through the glass, looking at her with hate in her eyes. She begins to insult her, screaming at her through the pipes. That's when Fabiana hears the strange noises for the first time. A couple of days later, Belen realizes she can control the water temperature from inside the room, and that's when she burns Fabiana. She also has to watch as Fabiana finds the key. She yells at her, screaming for help, but no matter what, she can't be heard. Belen barely survives by eating spoiled meat and washing herself with dirty water. One day, Belen realizes that by banging the pipes, she can create small waves in the sink water. Fabiana becomes sure that the things happening in the house aren't random and asks for the waves to appear again. Belen starts banging the pipes once more, and when Fabiana tells her to stop, she immediately does. She tells her to bang again and then to stop just to be sure. She asks if there is anyone there, and Belen responds by banging the pipes. Fabiana first asks if it's Adrian messing with her, but there's no response. Then she asks if it's the ghost of her deceased father, but again, nothing happens. Eventually, she gets it right, asking if it's Belen, and immediately the banging starts. The two begin communicating, with Fabiana guessing, and Belen responding by banging when she's correct. She eventually asks if she's trapped behind the mirror, and Belen confirms it. Fabiana then notices the dog barking aggressively at the mirror, which is actually a door. She tries to open it, searching around until she eventually finds a hidden keyhole. She immediately realizes what the key around her neck is for, but just before unlocking it, she hesitates, realizing that opening the door might be a mistake. She finally has the life she wanted, and Belen could take it away from her. In the end, Fabiana returns to the bathroom mirror and apologizes to Belen. The next couple of days, Fabiana's mind grows heavy. She tries a few more times to communicate with Belen, asking if she's okay, but there is no response. One day, a police officer shows up at Fabiana's door. The officer is actually her ex-boyfriend, who came to warn her about Adrian. He gives her some photos as proof that Adrian is having an affair with his co-worker, Veronica. Fabiana realizes she made a mistake, that she was willing to hurt a person for a man who was cheating on her. At last, she decides to unlock the door, and upon entering the hidden room, she sees Belen lying on the bed. As she approaches to check if she's still alive, Belen hits her in the head with a glass bottle. She takes the key from her hand, exits the room, and locks Fabiana inside. Hours later, when Adrian returns home, he notices Fabiana's things are gone, and he only finds a small picture of himself and Belen. Once again, he assumes another woman has left him. Belen has moved on, starting a new life somewhere else, while Fabiana is left there to die, and that's where the film ends. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video. Thanks for watching.